it's Polish presidency, so we are very grateful to the Polish presidency that they decided to have two conferences, one on materials and one on manufacturing. And the one on manufacturing was decided to do it here in Wrocław, and I think we are very grateful for the university, to Professor Klebos, that he organized all this, because it's a big thing to organize a conference for nearly 500 people, and but it runs everything perfectly well, and it's a pleasure to be here. I think we need, if you look into the figures which we have, we do not have yet sufficient participation from the new member states and from the eastern countries, not only limited to the member states. For the time being, the manufacturing is, the manufacturing research is concentrated in the EU 15 countries, and within the EU 15 countries, more in the countries like Germany, like Spain, like Italy. And I think we have to exploit the potential which is here in this region, because it's not a question of charity, it's a question of exploiting all the brains we have in Europe. I think you have a lot of manufacturing already today, perhaps this more in the supply chain for the time being, but I strongly believe that always research will follow the manufacturing sites. It's impossible to have the research done in country A and the production done in country B. At the end, the people who do the production, they have a problem, and they want to have it solved immediately. And they don't want to travel 1,000 kilometers, they want to have it nearby. And if you have here very big universities in Wrocław, 150,000 students, that is a huge potential. It's fantastic. And that is where you would have the brains to help the manufacturing people to do the right thing and to solve all their problems. I think what we see today is, of course, education is still very much a public domain. What can be useful is if, for example, you have an industry who is sponsoring a university institute, because what they also want is, and that's again, they don't do it for the nice blue eyes of the girls and the men which are out there. They do it because they would like to have the right people for tomorrow, that they get the right employment. I think from that point of view, the influence of the industry is important, that the universities do not have only people for academics, but also people for the industrial, because I don't know what exactly the figure is, but I think 95 to 98% of the students at the end will work in the industry, and only 2 to 5% will stay in the university. So at the end, we train the people to work in the industry, and so the industrial influence is very important. A strong manufacturing base is still a very important part to get out of the crisis. Now, if you look into the situation in Europe, very different. If you look into Spain, they still have a lot of problems, a lot of young people unemployment. If you look more to the north, in Germany, people even say crisis is over. In Poland, you are also out of the crisis. You came out of the crisis very quickly. Your banks were not involved in the beginning. So that means Poland got out of the crisis very, very well, but other countries did less good. So for us, from a European perspective, we are still looking for the crisis and to get out of the crisis. Even if some countries, and it's fantastic that that's the case, some countries have already gone a good way out of the crisis. These conferences, it's awareness raising, it is networking. Networking is also always very, very important, that the people know each other, and that they then can also start working together. If I would have a wish, I would say let's hope that in the next call, very practical, in the next call for proposal, we would see more Polish, Czech, Romanian participants in our program, because that we could also measure. We could say, okay, we are coming from a very low participation today, and tomorrow we would like to have a higher, day after tomorrow an even higher. And then it will be a growing thing. It will not come that you will go from 0 to 100 in 1 year. But I would like to see if I get every year perhaps 10, 15, 20% more, okay, then I would be very happy to see this, and I think that is something which we should have as a measurable result out of this conference.